It's about time. I'm starving.
Look how he feels.
He's on a diet.
He's gonna die if we're not careful.
But it'll save us the trouble of killing him.
What's gonna happen if his wife gets back here and finds him dead?
If she comes back, she'll have the money with her, right?
Hey, Frankie, come on, let's give him something to eat. I can't stand the way he's looking at me.
All right, give him something, but not from mine.
Hey, Kirk, you want something to eat? Hey, did you hear what I said? Huh? Here, take it easy. Hey, take it easy. You're gonna choke to death.
It's quicker than starving, anyway.
That's it. Just take it easy.
Eat up, Blue Eyes. Your bride is coming this morning with a nice bundle of cash. She just better be.
I know it's a lot of money, Mr. Grimes, but I need it, and I need it this morning.
I have no objection to your withdrawing the money, Mrs. Scott. The only thing I'm suggesting is that you take the money in the form of a bank check. This is too much cash to be carrying around with you. $50,000.
I understand that, Mr. Grimes, but I need it in cash.
Very well.
Thank you.
God.
Emily, I just hope you know exactly what you're going to do with it.
I'm doing the only thing I can do. So humble.
It's very nice, Raven.
Well, it's not exactly a palace, but Jamie and I call it home.
Well, it certainly looks comfortable enough for two.
Mother, look, I told you we can put Jamie's crib in my room and you can sleep in the nursery unless Mother Goose wallpaper keeps you up.
No, the sofa will be fine.
I don't know. Somehow I just can't imagine you sleeping on a sofa.
Oh, please don't worry about it. I'm sure I'll find a hotel suite soon. Raven, may I have a glass of water?
Oh, sure. Just don't go to the Monticello Arms because you're bound to run into that woman.
No. No, I won't stay there. So there's no chance of my encountering Geraldine. I still can't believe she would say those incredible things about me and Ansel.
Oh, she said it all right. And if you don't believe me, I can play this tape for you again.
No, thank you.
But it's much clearer in person than it is over transatlantic phone.
I'm sure it came over very clear. But I still don't understand why she would start these rumors suddenly.
Mother, I hate to tell you this, but it's not all so sudden. Don't you realize Geraldine Saxon has been insanely jealous of you for years?
Jealous? It's ridiculous.
It's true. Look at your lives. You married a very handsome and very successful attorney. You went to London. You live a very glamorous life.
Yes. Lucky me.
And look at her. She has nothing. She's been widowed twice, and she has absolutely no family.
Well, I know that Logan is staying with her now.
Yes, isn't that pathetic? But it's very typical of Geraldine. Always adopting new sons. I mean, look at poor Kevin.
She has lost two of her own, you know. The woman has suffered.
That's what I'm saying. That's why she hates you, because
I haven't suffered? Because I'm so happily married. Leading such a gay life. Yes, of course.
Why don't we just forget about Geraldine Saxon?
No. No, I can't. Our friendship goes back 30 years. It can't suddenly be terminated in a matter of minutes, at least not without some discussion. I really should confront Geraldine face to face.
Mother, she'll deny it. But But she can't deny this.
Bluntly, my dear, your stepfather is the most shameless Lothario.
Turn it off.
I'm sorry. It's just that I thought this little get-together would perhaps bring the two of us closer.
Raven, you and I haven't been close since I diapered you.
Maybe it was both our faults. Anyway, I haven't showed you my beautiful baby boy. Oh, Mrs. Wong. Okay, here he is. He finally gets a chance to meet Grandma. Raven. He's simply beautiful, Jamie. Isn't he? And this is the wonderful Mrs. Wong. She is such a good baby nurse.
Oh, how do you do, Miss Wong?
How do you do, Mrs. Scott?
You know, she's the #1 nurse in Monticello.
Oh.
I don't believe there are any official rankings.
No, it's true, it's true. She's very good. You can tell by the way he looks.
Oh, he looks just wonderful. He is so precious.
Mommy.
Yes.
Yes.
That's the word.
Oh.
Precious.
Logan and I simply cannot account for it. Nadine and I have been friends for years, and we've shared so much of each other's lives.
Well, Geraldine, you can't be all that mystified about it, can you? Really? Huh?
Well, I suppose not. I know very well that Raven had something to do with all this.
Oh, Nick the Greek give you 20 to 1 odds on that, maybe 40 to 1. Raven realized what would happen when you and Nadine got together. You would give Nadine an earful of Raven stories.
And I have some beauties.
So do I, but I'm not Nadine Scott's best friend. You're real trouble as far as Raven's concerned.
How could she do it? How could she alienate us so quickly?
That I can't tell you. She's devious as a rattlesnake, that girl. Well, I don't want a wrong rattlesnake. Rattlesnake's a very straightforward fella, and he gives you some warning.
Somehow I have to contact Nadine and find out what this is all about.
Think she'll let you do it?
Well, I don't know, but I'm certainly going to try.
Raven is going to be guarding the gates.
Well, there's one thing that Raven cannot do. She cannot prevent Nadine from seeing that baby and finding out exactly how much he has been mistreated.
Oh, Geraldine. You're behind the times. All Nadine is going to see is a model of perfect American motherhood.
Well, I suppose there will be some pretense.
I'm not talking about a small sideshow. I'm talking about a major Broadway production.
What do you mean?
Cliff Nelson had a brilliant idea the other day, and I was clever enough to approve it. He sent a social worker over to Ravens, Benita Thomas, I think her name was.
Oh, it's Benita Thomas. I know who she is. She's very well known.
Yeah, and highly respected. Well, she is now functioning as a friend of the court in this custody case. And the report that she is going to submit to Judge Lewis makes Raven look like God's gift to little children.
I've got to get to the post office. I have a meeting with the commissioner at 11 o'clock. And then, Mr. Riley has given me permission to interview his client.
In her jail cell?
Mm-hmm. This will be the first time she's talked to anybody ever since she was arrested. So I guess you could call this, something of a scoop for the Monticello News.
Mm-hmm. And while you're enjoying the company of a triple murderess, I'll be having my usual dull day at the office.
Oh. She still has to go to trial, Mike.
Oh, yes, but she did make a full confession. Riley, the best he can do in this case is ask for an insanity plea. Incidentally, I trust that you're going to have someone with you in that cell.
Oh, so sweet of you to worry about me.
I do that all the time, darling.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Kelly. You're up early, aren't you?
Yeah, I just didn't sleep very well, that's all.
What time did you get in last night?
About 12:30. I came right home after the last show at the Unicorn.
How'd it go?
Really terrific. In fact, I think I'm going to ask Mr. Dorn about that salary increase.
You know, I think you should, because I think you've become very important to the Unicorn.
Well, I hope you've been relieved of your other duties, running the sound and lights and waiting on tables, too.
Well, I'm still doing the sound and lights, but I'm not doubling as a waiter anymore. Mr. Dorn hired a temporary replacement for Jody. At least I hope he's temporary.
Meaning that you'd like it if Jody came back to work.
Yes, Mike, I would very much.
Kelly, you know, you really don't have to rely on a work situation to see a girl that you'd like to see. I mean, when you saw Jody at the Kavanaughs, why didn't you ask her for a date then?
I did. Well, she just didn't think that she could take all this time out to rest and then go out and party at the same time.
Well, I don't agree with that. Recreation can be a part of rest, too, can't it?
Well, that's just what I told her. But she still said no, and I don't know, maybe it was just another one of her excuses.
Well, from what Nicole told me, the girl is really coming along fine. She's very eager to get back to her dancing.
Yeah, and then, of course, she'll be seeing a lot more of Gavin.
Kelly, would you like some breakfast? I can fix you something quickly, though.
No, that's okay. I had a late breakfast last night when I got in, just in case you were wondering why your kitchen was in such a mess.
Oh, no. Nancy just thought that you'd brought all the customers from the Unicorn home with you.
Oh, it wasn't all that messy.
Yeah. Listen, this letter came in the mail from Mom and Dad in Rome yesterday. I thought it was addressed to me, but it wasn't. It's addressed to you and Nancy, Mike.
Good. Have you written them lately?
No, I haven't been very good about that. Mainly because there hasn't been very good to write about. But that's changed now, of course.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I'm sure they'd be delighted to hear how your career is progressing.
Yeah, well, I'll write them real soon.
Nancy, your brother has finally decided to tell us what happened to Kelly in Rome. The girl was named Karen Gleason. Her father, Monty Gleason, is an American attaché to the trade mission in Rome. She was 16 when it happened.
And what happened?
I'll read it to you in Lee's own words. We'd known the Gleasons ever since we arrived in Rome. Although Monty was a little too impressed with his own importance, he could relax now and then. His wife was a different cup of tea, however. Came from a wealthy New England family and was disappointed that her husband had a lower echelon job in the diplomatic corps. Jerry tried to be friendly to her, but Mrs. Gleason didn't care for Jerry's relaxed lifestyle. So they really didn't hit it off. As you can gather, we weren't the greatest of friends with the Gleasons, but they had a very beautiful daughter. To be truthful, Karen was the member of their family that Jerry liked the least. She was a little bit too self-possessed for 16, too much aware of her own charm. But as it turned out, there was more to this little volcano than any of us realized. At least of all, our rather naive son.
Mike, I'm not sure I want to hear the rest of this.
Needless to say, Kelly fell head over heels in love with Karen, and she seemed to reciprocate. At least we thought she did. Kelly escorted her to dances and parties at the embassy and took her out on his own occasionally. But we soon got the feeling that Karen was oddly distant to him, that there was something we didn't know or understand about this girl. One evening, the Gleasons tried to get in touch with Karen when she was presumably on a date with Kelly. They called us, but we didn't know where she was. And when Kelly returned from a movie, he told us he hadn't had a date with Karen that night.
So, she lied to her parents.
Obviously. We didn't make too much fuss about it, mostly because Kelly didn't want us to, but Kelly and Karen must have quarreled about it because they broke up for a while. It was when they got back together that the trouble occurred. Karen called one night and begged Kelly to see her. Naturally, he couldn't resist. He went out and didn't return for the entire night. It wasn't until the following morning that we found out what had happened to him, and we found out from the police.
What?
Kelly had been arrested and was being held at police headquarters suspected of rape, assault and battery, and God knows what else.
Oh, I can't believe this.
Neither can I. There was no question that Karen had been viciously assaulted. She was unconscious when the police discovered her, but Kelly had gone to the police himself to report the crime and told them that 3 men in stocking masks had attacked them both and tied him up.
Why was Kelly blamed?
Now listen to this. Kelly's story wasn't completely rejected by the Roman police, but it wasn't completely accepted either. A day later, when Karen regained consciousness, she... Good Lord.
What?
She blamed Kelly herself. She said that she'd only seen him to tell him they were through, and that when she did that, he attacked her. No formal charges were made by the Gleasons, and of course, we are completely behind Kelly. We know he was telling the absolute truth. We're sure it was a jealous boyfriend of Karen's who was responsible, probably a local lover whose existence the Gleasons preferred not to acknowledge. But the stigma fell on Kelly, and he just couldn't take it any longer.
Oh, this is awful.
Yes, it certainly is.
Good morning.
April, what a lovely surprise. What are you doing here at this early hour?
Oh, well, I had to be at the bank at 9 to make a transaction. Logan told me he'd be home until 10.
Yes, he's going to court.
Oh, good morning. What have we here? Early morning business conference?
As a matter of fact, it was something I wanted to discuss with you.
Oh, thank heavens. At this early hour, I'm in no shape to discuss anything myself, so if you'll excuse me, I'll go and dress.
Sure.
Sit down, please.
Thank you.
Let me get another cup and you have some coffee.
No, I don't want any coffee.
You sure?
Yeah, please.
Okay. What's up? Is something wrong?
Yes, as a matter of fact, there is, and it started yesterday evening when Emily Michaels came to see me at the studio.
The studio? What for?
She wanted the money, the down payment on the house, the whole thing, $50,000.
Well, what do you know? So what have you done?
I gave it to her. It's her money. I mean, there was no legal papers signed or anything like that. She went to the bank with me this morning, and I withdrew the money and gave it to her. Cash.
Cash?
Yes.
That's quite a bundle to be carrying around the street.
She insisted on it, Logan. She told me that her husband is in danger. He has a gambling debt, an old debt, and the people who are holding him are going to kill him if they don't pay up.
Well, it's certainly possible things like that do happen. Has she called the police?
She doesn't want to involve the police. Logan, I don't know what to do. What do you think we should do?
I don't know. The story's plausible, very plausible, especially considering the type of people that he would be dealing with.
Hey, that's Kirk Michaels. Kirk Michaels is the one who has a record. We both know that this man is not Kirk Michaels. I confronted her with it, Logan. She didn't deny it, but she wouldn't tell me who he really is either.
Well, he still could have a record, and he certainly could have gambling debts.
Oh, God. I mean, the whole thing just... I'm so mixed up. If you could have seen her, Logan, the poor woman.
Poor woman, still? After all the lies she's told you?
I'm convinced she was forced to lie.
Well, maybe so. I'm sorry that her husband's in trouble, but I'm real glad this house deal has fallen through, and I'll be even happier when the Michaels are out of your life completely.
Oh, they will be. She said as soon as the debt is paid, they're moving out of Oakdale, out of Monticello, out of this part of the country.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. You don't need their troubles in your life.
Logan, think about it. Come on. I mean, I'm so unnerved by this whole thing. Just the thought that this man, whoever he is, could possibly be in danger.
Well, he won't be in danger. Not once they see the color of his money. That's not the way gamblers operate. If they did, he wouldn't have any customers. He'll be okay as soon as he pays. Try not to worry.
I hope you're right. You probably are. Now I've just convinced myself of that so I can stop shaking.
Who is it?
I have the money.
Let's
Did you
see
hear
it.
that, Frankie?
Let's see it. Come on.
You see? I told you I'd bring it.
Hey, is it all there, Frankie?
Shut up. I'm still counting it.
Oh,
Hey, not so fast, honey.
Looks like it's all here. $50,000.
Please let us go now. What are you doing?
Let her go.
No, please. You said you'd let us go. Please.
Better tie her up and gag her.
No.
See, there's something you don't know, honey. The money's not enough. It doesn't make up for 10 years of double cross. 10 years ago, I swore to see Kirk Michaels dead. And as soon as it gets dark, you'll be able to see it, too.
Sun's going down soon, Frankie.
Shut up, I'm counting.
It's all you've been doing all day long was counting the money. Always adds up to the same 50 grand, doesn't it?
I know. That's why I like counting it.
Yeah, well, there's only one thing that counts now. It's getting rid of them and getting out of here.
Well, that won't be long now. The sun will be down soon.
Yeah, I know. And then the roller coaster and the shooting gallery start up. What's it gonna look like to the cops, Frankie? I mean, finding 2 dead bodies in my shed.
That's easy. Suicide pact.
Huh?
You heard me. The 2 lovers are going to end it all.
What for?
What for? She discovered he's a crook. She wants to leave him. He shoots her. He shoots himself.
Here? In my shed?
Don't be stupid. We'll shoot him here. And then we'll dump the bodies outside under the roller coaster.
Yeah. That's pretty smart, Frankie.
I'm smart about a lot of things, not just arithmetic.
Come on, son, go down. So we can get this over with.
One skirt, 2 skirts, 2 skirts, 2 blouses, I hope. Yes. And 2 coats. Okay. 2 blouses, 2 coats.
Hi.
Hello.
Don't you look nice?
Oh, thank you.
Let me see that. Very pretty. Are you going to the studio tonight?
No, I'm not, but I am going out. Oh, it reminds me, I wanted to ask you. Miles might be a little late, and I was wondering, could you stay with Adam till he gets here?
Oh, I'd love to stay with him.
Oh, thank you. I've got a doctor's appointment.
Oh? Well,
Yes.
I guess it's not with your doctor husband now, is it?
No, it isn't. It's with a doctor named Stewart. He took pity on my busy schedule and gave me an appointment at 7:30 at night.
You're all right, aren't you?
Oh, sure. Yeah, it's just a routine checkup. I just was taking advantage of the extra time to do a little bit of housework.
Well, anything I can do to help you?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, there is. You can go upstairs and check your wardrobe and see if you have anything that needs dry cleaning. I'm going to take it tomorrow morning.
Oh, I don't have that many clothes. Besides, you shouldn't have to include it with your things.
Don't be silly. Just go do it.
Okay, thanks. It won't be much.
Hello?
Nicole? Hi, it's Nancy.
Nancy, hi. You're not still at the office, are you?
No. I'm at the gavel, but I've had meetings all day long. But there was one meeting I thought you'd like to know about.
Well, which one was that?
Well, have you heard of a Tina Boyer, the woman who's been accused of several murders?
Oh, well, of course I have.
Well, I interviewed her today in her cell. Nicole, it was such an experience, believe me. She told me everything.
Oh, Nancy, what a coup for the Monticello News.
Well, I was wondering if you'd like the same for the WMON News. I'll tell you why. She's an avid fan of yours. And when I told her that I knew you, well, she was so thrilled. She wants to do a tape for your show, and her attorney doesn't have any objections.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
So, if you want to do anything about it, we have to act fast.
Sure I do. I have a doctor's appointment in about an hour, but it's with Dr. Stewart. He's very close to the gavel. What if I leave now, and I'll meet you there?
Terrific. I'll be waiting.
Oh, thank you, Nancy.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. This is great. Let's see if I have my keys.
Okay, here it is. I told you it wasn't much.
You know, we're going to have to see about getting you some new clothes.
Oh, I don't think I can afford any. Not until I go back to work.
I am not talking about charity. I'm talking about a loan.
You've done too much for me already. You know, I am feeling stronger. I was thinking, maybe I should start looking for a small apartment.
Jody, be realistic.
Oh, I know. I couldn't afford anything but a small rat's nest right now. But I thought, well, maybe I could get somebody to share a place with me.
Well, isn't that what you're doing right now?
No, it's not. I'm not sharing anything here. All I'm doing is taking.
All right, okay. I have an idea. How would you like to be a paying boarder?
A boarder?
Sure. Well, after you start working, you can contribute a little something to household expenses if it makes you feel better.
Yeah. You really mean that?
Well, of course I do. And that way you would be saving money for your own place. You know, because your expenses wouldn't be that high.
Great.
If you want to be independent, though, Jody, I'm...
No. I have been independent all of my life. And it's not that great.
Good. Then it's settled.
Okay.
I've got to rush off now.
Okay. Thank you. I'll take care of Adam.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Well, I did what you asked. I sent those prints off to Washington.
And what'd you find out?
The initial response was, but they're not Kirk Michaels.
Well, no surprises there.
Expecting a call sometime tonight to find out just whose they are. I suppose this guy, whoever he is, could have gotten a hold of a set of Kirk's actual prints.
Oh, it's a little far-fetched. It is for me, anyway.
Yeah, it is for me, too. But this whole thing is far-fetched. A strange woman befriending April Scott, filling her with stories about a husband nobody's ever met.
A man who then conveniently disappears as soon as we start asking a few questions about it. Reminds me, I've got a little bit more about that story, which is actually the reason I dropped by this evening.
What's that?
According to April, we may not be seeing that much more of Emily Michaels herself.
How come?
Because Emily has asked for her money back. The entire $50,000 deposit on April's house.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. She probably realized her husband skipped town for good, and she just wanted to get involved in buying a house and staying there all by herself.
That's what I thought, but April gave me a much more interesting reason for Emily's request for the cash. And when I say cash, I mean cash. Seems that Kirk ran into a few of his old friends, gambling-type friends, if you get my drift.
Yes, now the pieces are beginning to fit.
Does explain a few things, doesn't it? Well, it seems these friends are holding Kirk until he pays off. No, I told April I thought this sounded like police business, but she said, no, Emily doesn't want to involve the cops.
Wait, you mean this guy's kidnapped? Are they threatening him? Because I would love an excuse to get involved in this.
Well, I wouldn't send out the squad cars just yet if I were you. This may be true, and then it may not. Emily doesn't have that great a track record. All I know is what April told me. She handed the money over to Mrs. Michaels, who has now gone off to pay hubby's debts.
Well, that sounds like our problems are all over with them.
I hope. The Michaels, it seems, would also like to leave town as soon as possible, and I, for one, would like to see them go.
To avoid running into any more old friends?
I guess so. Look, Let's not let this story keep us from finding out whatever we can about the owner of those fingerprints. I'd like to know who we're dealing with on
I'll
this
find
thing.
out for you.
I'll check back with you later. You know, it's funny, when you think about this, it's a little strange. I mean, a second misidentification. It's just like Draper Scott.
Nancy, thank you so much. Greater love hath no friend than to share a scoop with another friend.
Well, as I said, it was Tina Boyer's idea, really. I guess she wants her place in the spotlight, or should I say the limelight?
Uh-huh. Well, I have absolutely no intention of allowing her to glorify herself. Geraldine hates that sort of journalism. But I can guarantee her one thing, a very high viewer rating the night of this interview.
Terrific. Okay, oh, wait a minute. Her attorney's card is right here, and you can call him tomorrow between 9 and 11, okay?
Okay.
So,
thank you.
I think that's basically all I have to tell you about it. Are you all right with your timing for your doctor's appointment, or do you want to leave now? Or?
Well, I just have about 10 minutes, but I tell you, I'd much rather wait with you here than in a waiting room.
Okay, it's fine by me.
I'm taking your advice about getting this complete physical. And then after that, I'll see whatever specialist Dr. Stewart thinks I should see about my problem.
No, wait a minute. Remember, you're not sure it really is a problem.
I suppose not.
You just have to think of your sister-in-law.
You know, that's right. April was never going to have children, and now she's got Julia.
Yeah.
A daughter and no husband. I'm sorry.
Nicole, I really enjoy Jody. And I think I see somewhat of a family resemblance.
Do you really?
Uh-huh.
And I'm not really sure, but sometimes I think that I see my father's eyes.
Yes. Does her mother know where she is?
I don't think that Jody's in touch with her mother at all.
Do you think the woman might create some problems?
Oh, I don't think so. From what Jody told us, she was very happy when Jody left home about 2 years ago.
2 years ago? Oh, my goodness. She's been on her own since she was that young.
I don't know how she survived. She doesn't really talk about what happened to her before she came to Monticello. But I have the feeling that, well, she's been living from hand to mouth.
She still managed to keep up her interest in dancing.
Yeah, and I think that's very lucky, having consuming interest.
Yeah. Well, I think it's very good for everyone to have a sense of purpose. But I think that Jody needs more than that. I think that she needs a sense of family.
Well, she's got one now. Nancy, I hate to do this to you. I hate to leave without finishing my drink, but I'm a little nervous. I'm going to be late for Dr.
Oh, sure.
Stewart.
You go right ahead. Go ahead. This is on me.
Oh, no, it isn't.
Monticello News?
Oh, well, in that case. I'll see you later, okay?
All right,
Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. Bye-bye.
I'm afraid I'm going to disappoint you, Nadine. I'm not going to give you any instant diagnosis.
I didn't really expect that, Dr. Stewart.
Oh, yes, you did. You didn't come 4,000 miles without hoping for a miracle. As if just the fact of covering all that distance earned you the right to an answer.
Believe me, I came to Monticello because I have so much faith in you as a doctor.
Because I was your doctor for so many years. So many healthy years, isn't that right?
Well, I never was very sickly, you know that.
Nadine, how many of those doctors in London told you that they couldn't be sure of the cause of your problem without hospitalization?
They all told me that.
I thought so. And so you kept going from one to another, hoping to find one who'd give you an answer without forcing you into a hospital bed.
Well, I found one or two. They prescribed things, but nothing helped.
Well, I could prescribe things, too. But the best prescription I could give you is one you've already heard. Nadine, you're in constant pain. The office diagnostic procedures haven't revealed the reason for it. Isn't it logical that you have other tests, more complete tests?
I don't want to be cut open. The very word exploratory sends chills up and down my spine.
No, I didn't say that would be necessary. But there are other tests which could be made, should be made, just so we can be sure what the trouble is. You know, it may not be anything very serious. We might find a simple, easy remedy for your problem.
If only you could.
Then do what I suggest. Let me reserve you a very nice private room in our handsome new Alexander wing at Monticello General. You remember the Alexander? Your money built it.
I just knew you were going to say that. I knew it.
You'll probably be there only a few days. And I promise to give you as much attention as I possibly can.
I know that's all I want from you, Dr. Stewart. You're the only doctor in the world that could make me agree to this. All right. Make the arrangements.
Thank you, Nadine. I'm sure you won't regret it.
I don't regret anything that makes this stomach of mine feel better.
Give me a call tomorrow and I'll tell you what arrangements I've made. Oh, but be packed and ready to go. I might have a room for you by tomorrow afternoon.
So soon?
Have you lived with that pain so long that you're not anxious to get rid of it?
No, you're right. The sooner the better. Oh, by the way, I'm staying in Raven's apartment. I left her number with your receptionist.
You're staying with Raven. Well, and I suppose you've already seen Geraldine.
No, I haven't. And I don't intend to.
But I thought you two were the best of friends. What? Speaking of old friends.
Nadine,
good heavens. Hello, Nicole. Oh, nice to see you. Been such a long time and so much has happened.
Oh, you haven't even met my husband, Miles.
Nadine will probably meet him at the hospital very soon.
Yes. I've been talked into spending a few days in that place.
Well, if they let you have visitors there, then I'll be visiting you too.
Well, that would be lovely. I'll be in touch. Have to run now. Goodbye, and thank you, Dr. Stewart.
Goodbye, Nadine. Be speaking with you shortly.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Well, this is my day for renewing old acquaintances, isn't it? I don't think I've seen you in over a year, Nicole.
I've been keeping well.
Huh.
And I'm still well. I don't have any symptoms. Except one.
Well, let's talk about it.
I guess you'd have to call it a negative symptom. I'm not becoming pregnant.
I see. And I gather you want to.
Oh, very much. Both of us do. Miles and I. We know it's not his fault. And that leaves me.
You know, there are specialists on the problem.
Oh, I've seen a gynecologist. Dr. Goldman?
Well, she's probably the best in the city.
She didn't find anything wrong. So she suggested that a complete physical might be helpful.
Yes, I'll agree with that. Obviously, your general health affects all the bodily functions. You did have one difficult pregnancy, didn't you, Nicole?
Yes, I did. It was so precarious that I had to be in the hospital for almost 6 months.
Yes, I remember. The Claremont.
Yeah. But it had a happy ending. 2 of them, as a matter of fact. Adam was born, and that's where I met Miles.
And now you'd very much like to give birth to Miles, baby.
Yes, I would. I can't tell you how anxious I've been.
Yes, I understand.
Dr. Stewart, if there isn't any physical thing wrong with me, is it possible that my emotions could have an effect on something like this?
Well, yes, that's quite possible. Is there an emotional problem?
Oh, well, I don't know. I was just thinking, you know, with Draper and so forth.
Well, let's make sure of the physical side of things first, shall we?
Pretty, isn't it? I just love carousel music.
You wouldn't love it if you had to hear it every day.
Soon it'll be completely dark. And when the roller coaster starts rolling and the shooting galleries start shooting...
God, I wish this was over. I'm sick and tired of this place. I can hardly wait to get out of here. And you can believe me, I am not going to miss that merry-go-round music a bit.
April!
Who's waking up?
Don't worry, honey. It won't be too long now. Did you hear that? Well, now it's time for a little target practice of our own.
Please let me sing off so I can talk.
She's trying to tell us something, Larry.
Come on, Frankie, let's get this over with. I'm getting nervous.
I wonder what she wants to say.
She just wants to yell for the cops.
You promise you won't yell if I let him take the gag off? Go ahead.
Listen to me. There's something I have to tell you, something very important.
Let her go, let her go. She's got nothing to do with this.
Come on, Frankie, let's get this over
No,
with.
you have to listen to me. The reason you want to kill him is because you hate Kirk Michaels, right?
That's right. I've hated him for 10 years.
Well, the man you hate is dead. Kirk Michaels is dead.
Yeah, sure. We know what the cops wanted us to believe.
They told you the truth. Kirk was shot and killed in the escape attempt.
She's just stalling, Frankie.
No, I swear you'll be taking your revenge on the wrong man. Please, please, let me just talk to him. Then you'll understand.
All right, go ahead. Talk to him.
Frankie!
Shut up. I want to hear this.
Kirk, listen to me. And please, please try to understand. Your name isn't Kirk Michaels.
It isn't.
No. We lied to you. All of us. Oh, I believed it at first myself. I wanted so very much to believe. But my father... We all made you into somebody that you aren't. You aren't Kirk Michaels. Your name is Draper Scott. You have to listen to me. The only reason you want to kill him is because you hate Kirk Michaels, right?
That's right, honey. I've hated him for 10 years.
Well, the man you hate is dead. Kirk Michaels is dead.
Oh, sure. That's what the cops would like us to believe.
The police were telling you the truth. Kirk was shot and killed during the escape attempt.
She's just stalling, Frankie.
No, I swear to you, you're taking your revenge out on the wrong man. Please. Please, let me talk to him. And then you'll understand.
All right, go ahead. Talk to him.
Frankie!
Shut up. I want to hear this.
Kirk, please listen to me and just try to understand what I'm going to say. Your name isn't Kirk Michaels.
It isn't.
We lied to you. All of us.
Oh, I believed it at first. I wanted to believe it so badly. But my father... We all tried to make you into somebody that you aren't. You aren't Kirk Michaels. Your name is Draper Scott.
Scott. Draper Scott.
See, I wanted my husband back again. I wanted him back so much that I convinced myself that you really were Kirk. I didn't know he was dead. I fooled myself as much as I fooled you.
Frankie, what the hell are they talking about?
I don't know.
Everyone thinks that Draper Scott is dead. But it's Kirk who's dead. He died 9 years ago. You're alive. And you've got to let him live. The man you hate is dead. This man didn't do you any harm. You can't kill him. You just can't. To remember what happened to Draper Scott. You must have heard about him.
Yeah, I heard about the guy. There was some kind of murder case.
He killed his mother-in-law, right?
No, it was some other woman. She confessed to it, and her name was Nola Madison.
Yeah, that's right, the movie star.
Draper Scott was convicted, and he was sent to prison. Only the train he was traveling on never reached the penitentiary. It was wrecked at Grand Falls. Now, you must have heard of it. It was in every newspaper in the country.
No, I don't pay that much attention to the news.
Well, I remember. Scott was killed in the wreck.
No, he wasn't. Somehow he escaped, and he made it to our house in Evansville. Only he had some kind of a head injury in the wreck, and he couldn't remember who he was.
You're telling me the truth?
Yes, Kirk, it's the truth. I'm so sorry I didn't tell you before. I got you into this whole mess. It's all my fault.
Go on, honey. Let's hear the rest of this fairy tale.
You don't believe me?
Keep trying.
Well, I hadn't seen Kirk in 10 years, just as you hadn't. And, well, he looks like Kirk could have looked 10 years later.
Come on, Frankie, let's get this over with, huh?
Shut up. Let the girl talk.
I thought he was Kirk for the same reason you did.
You called him my name, baby. I heard you.
My father knew who he was right away. He saw his picture in the newspaper, only... they ran his picture in the paper every day for a week. He just didn't want to tell me. He didn't want to spoil things for me.
No. The fingerprints. He proved it to me.
No, it was just a lie, just another lie. They were fakes. Daddy took a set of your own prints while you were asleep.
So, then what happened?
I wanted my husband back again. I wanted him back so badly that even when I learned the truth, I couldn't tell him anything. I wanted him to go on believing that he was my husband, even though he was someone else's.
Someone else?
What do you think, Frank? I mean, what if it's true?
So what if it is? We still can't let him go.
Wasn't that Scott guy some kind of big shot lawyer?
Yes, he is a very important lawyer, and he's a friend of the police chief. If you don't let us go, if you kill him, they'll never stop looking for you.
Look, Terry, I couldn't believe that suicide pact story of he and her husband.
No, they won't.
Look, you have our money. Why don't you just let us go?
What are we gonna do, Frankie? I mean, if she's telling the truth.
Who says she is? She could just be making this up to get out of this mess.
Yeah, but what are we gonna do to find out for sure? No, hey, wait a minute. I got an idea. I'll be right back.
Where are you going?
Just don't do anything until I get back.
Maybe it's all for the best. I mean, Emily Michaels and that mystery man husband of hers, at least they'll be out of your life now. You're gonna take that.
Oh, I still can't consider it good, Logan. I liked Emily. I always thought that she was being sincere with me.
Well,
Do you want a drink? Looks like Molly left us something.
I'm sure. Brandy, something for you? Fine. Before we get off this, though, I don't want you to think that
I felt she was insincere. I just didn't know for sure what she was doing.
Well, I want you to keep in mind that Emily never took anything from me. That money was a down payment on a house she decided not to buy, so legally the money was still hers.
That's true. I wasn't thinking of it that way. Something I ought to tell you. I talked to Chief Mallory about all this.
You did what? You brought in the police? Why?
Because I felt he should know about it. Look, he's not going to put out an APB or anything like that. I mean, there's no criminal charges against the Michaels.
Oh, if anything, criminals are giving them trouble. Why don't you sit down?
Something else, another little project of mine in the works I probably ought to tell you about, too.
What is this, True Confessions? Tell me what it is.
Sort of. I got a fingerprint card, very official fingerprint card, with a complete set of prints for supposedly Kirk Michaels from Emily Michaels.
What on earth is Emily holding a set of fingerprints around for?
Well, you know how sentimental some people get. She didn't have a decent picture of Kirk, so... I'm sorry, it's very strange explanation. She told me that her father obtained this set of prints so that they could find out for sure Kirk Michaels was who they claimed he was.
I don't understand.
I don't understand it either. Anyhow, we knew for a fact that Kirk Michaels was dead, so I thought we'd better run a check on these prints and see whose they were.
Well, how do you do that?
Well, we send them off to the NCIC computer in Washington.
Mm-hmm.
They're able to match prints very, very quickly. The only problem is the prints that you're looking for have to be on file in that computer.
Which means that Emily's husband, or whoever this man is, has to have a criminal record.
Exactly.
Logan, I really don't think it all matters anymore. I'm sure Emily and whoever are out of town by now.
Maybe. Then again, maybe not. Any rate, we're going to find out who this person is. Perhaps as early as tonight.
I do believe I need to freshen this.
Oh, no, I don't think so.
I've got it.
Thank you. I hope you don't mind. I asked Eric Mallory to call me here later this evening if any of that information comes through.
Oh, no, of course I don't.
Wasn't sure whether it'd come through quite this fast, but if it does.
I told you it doesn't matter to me. I'm sure the two of them are out of town, which means that my house is empty again.
Well, maybe I ought to just buy that house from you. It might come in handy if I win my custody suit. Jamie
Did
would
I
love
hear
it.
you say if?
Oh, sorry. Mustn't think negatively. Everybody keeps telling me that, especially Cliff.
Don't mention that name.
Why?
The name of Cliff Nelson gives me a stomach ache. Him and his wonderful ideas that usually backfire, the latest of which was that social worker.
Now, you're being too hard on it. It wasn't that bad an idea. I mean, that's the kind of information that a court requires in a case like this. Objective facts about the well-being of the child.
Objective facts? When you talk about Raven, I'll lay you 3-to-1 odds she knew about that woman coming, and I'll also bet you that Cliff is the one who told her.
I really don't think so. I think the woman she was expecting was her mother. Her mother's in town now. You know that.
I know, got in this morning.
That's what I understand. What I don't understand is why she seems to have turned against Geraldine.
Raven?
Well, yeah, Raven. Of course, we discern the subtle hand of Raven behind all this, but it's still a mystery.
Oh, boy, excuse me.
After all, I mean, Nadine Scott would believe anything Geraldine said over anything that Raven said, so why all of a sudden are mother and daughter thick as thieves, all reconciled? Doesn't
It
make
just
any sense.
infuriates me. Every time I hear about another one of Raven's victories, you do realize, don't you, that she is walking into that courtroom with all the ammunition.
She's got the big guns on her side, that's for sure.
And you have nothing, Logan. Do you realize that you have nothing and you won't call me as a witness?
Told you about that. I can't change my mind.
What do you mean you can't?
Well, I mean, I won't call you to the stand. That's about all there is to that, really.
That isn't all there is to it. I've suspected there's been more for a long time. Why don't you just tell me what it is?
Would you mind very much if we dropped this
No,
subject?
I won't drop the subject. Not until you tell me why you won't call me as a witness.
Okay. All right. I made a deal with Raven.
What kind of a deal?
A deal, you know, compromise. I made a concession, she made a concession, a deal.
And you conceded calling me as a witness in your custody trial. No, I'm sorry, I won't accept that. You're too good a lawyer.
Well, I hope you're going to be able to live with it, because I made a promise and I can't go back on it.
What did Raven concede? Now, obviously, that is something that you will not tell me.
No, I can't.
Well, I won't need these in the hospital. Because I hate the whole idea of it. I've always loathed hospitals. Even you were born at home, you know.
Well, no wonder I'm such a homebody.
I refuse the same suggestion from so many doctors in London. Jeremy Stewart, is a very persuasive man.
Mother, I'm sure everything's going to work out for the best. It's probably nothing more than a small virus.
That small virus has kept me in constant pain for 6 months. Well, guess that does it. Oh, well, who knows? Maybe my friend Geraldine is right. Maybe it's all psychosomatic.
Your ex-friend, you mean?
Yes.
Mother, are you allowed to have an after-dinner drink?
No, thank you.
Tell me something. Is there any truth in this gossip that Geraldine's spreading about Ansel and you?
I prefer not to discuss it, Raven.
Of course.
What I would really like to do is to see my little grandson.
Sure. I'll bring him right out. Jamie, Grandmother wants to see you. Here he is.
Oh, hello, Jamie, darling. Hello.
Mommy.
Isn't he gorgeous? Come on, Jamie. Give her one of those $1 million smiles. Yes.
Oh, you are so precious,
Yes,
Jamie.
he is.
There you go.
You play with your truck?
Now, Raven, tell me about this custody trial. Is there the slightest chance that Logan will win?
Of course not. Why on earth would he?
Well, you and I both know that he is Jamie's natural father.
Well, that's true. And he's certainly made sure the whole world knows about it. You know, he's gotten some proof of paternity papers from the court. And he's probably had them bronzed and put on his wall.
But he has no real claim against you.
He certainly doesn't. No judge in his right mind would take a baby away from his mother. Jamie has been with me for a few months, and anyone can see how happy he is.
He certainly looks well. You're obviously taking very good care of him, Raven.
You should talk to his nurse, Mrs. Wong. You know, she's an expert on child care. She even has a degree from a university, and she is very well paid for what she does, believe me.
Raven, when you visited London, I had the distinct impression that you were there to stay.
Well, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was very confused because of the fight that Logan and I had.
You never told me what that fight was about.
Well, it was just an ordinary marital fight, I guess. I was very angry at him because he was neglecting me and Jamie while he was running for DA's office. And then he turned around and accused me of a bunch of lies.
And if you had stayed in England, what about Jamie?
Well, I would have sent for him, of course. I couldn't have left my little baby all by himself. No, not my precious little baby. I would never leave him. He's my whole life right now.
It's not exactly an ideal life for a baby, is it? A child needs two parents.
Yes, that's true. Mother, if you won't tell anyone, Jamie's going to have two parents.
What?
Yes, you have to swear to secrecy because nobody knows this, but I have met a man. I've met a man that I am absolutely crazy about, and we are unofficially engaged.
Well, this is news.
Yes, I'm very excited. You'll adore him, too. He's not like any other man I've ever met before. Well, of course, he's very attractive, and he's very strong and very stable. He is like a rock of Gibraltar.
And what does this rock of Gibraltar do?
Well, he has a very important job. As important as the district attorney. As a matter of fact, he is the chief of police.
I knew Bill Marceau had retired, but I never did hear anything about his replacement.
Well, of course, he's a lot younger than Bill Marceau. His name is Derek Mallory, and the good thing is you are going to meet him tonight.
I am?
Yes, he should be here pretty soon, as a matter of fact, and he's very anxious to meet you. Only one thing, though. You probably shouldn't say anything about this engagement because I am legally married to Logan, and probably wouldn't be proper to say anything about our marriage yet, right?
Calvin.
Yeah. Well, what's it look like? Am I getting any better?
Well, you keep this up, you'll be ready for your first public appearance.
Hey, no kidding.
At the policeman's ball.
No thank you. I think that's the last place in the world I want to trip the Life Fantastic, kiddo. I think my only public performance is going to be right here in the studio.
You mean your cop buddies still don't know what you do, right?
No, only Deborah, and she's signed an oath in blood.
So you're ashamed of it, is that it?
Look, man, I am not ashamed of anything, and I wish you'd quit saying that.
Well, if you weren't concerned about it, you'd tell the world.
Wiley, you don't seem to understand. It is the world I am concerned about. Some of those guys I have to share a locker room with.
Yeah, I know. They don't understand. They think that you're not doing what a cop should be doing.
Man, would you get off it? I keep coming back here, don't I?
The minute you bring a whole bunch of boys in blue to watch your stuff, then I'll believe it.
Wiley, you know, I'm beginning to think you are really hung up on this subject. You know that? Man, you must have taken one hell of a beating from your old man.
You're right. I'm sorry. Come anytime, with or without your cop friends.
It's okay. It'll be without. Except for this one. Hi, Red.
Hi.
You just missed one hell of a workout with Detective Stone. He's getting very good.
Oh, well, thank you to you.
I see some people need help. Excuse me.
Oh.
You almost ready to go?
Yeah. I think I've had enough. I just gotta change clothes. So what's with you? You're looking pretty down today.
Oh, I don't know. I'm just thinking about this Larry Watts, Dick Wilson, whatever his name is. It just bothers me that we let Emily Michaels go off with him. You know?
Why? She seems to be acting of her own volition.
He's an associate of Kirk Michaels.
The late Kirk Michaels.
Yeah, well, see, that's what bothers me, Calvin. I mean, why is he with her? What does he want from her? It just puzzles me.
Red, haven't you got enough crime to solve? Yeah, are you going to spend time trying to solve puzzles, too?
Yeah. I ran a make on the guy. You know, he's still living in Monticello. He doesn't have any arrests or convictions, though. I don't know. I found out where he's working.
Yeah? Where?
Guess what he does for a living? He is a handyman at an amusement park.
Where the hell is he? What does he think he's doing?
I got it.
You got what? Where the hell were you?
Hey, relax, Frank. I just wanted to talk to Jake Leftwell before he got too drunk to talk.
Who's Jake Leftwell?
He's the old guy that runs the Penny Arcade. He's got a whole room full of old newspapers and junk.
So you got this rag?
That's right. I figured he'd have some old Monticello news. Take a look at it.
Attorney Draper Scott accused of murdering wife's mother. Say, he does look very much like that guy.
That's what I thought when I saw him. It's him, Frankie. She was telling the truth.
There. You see? You have to let us go now. You just have to.
Wait a minute. This other picture, the woman, that's not her.
No, it's not me.
Let me look at it.
Better untie him, but watch him. Okay, babyface. Take a look at it. Do you recognize yourself? Well?
He's at a trance, Frankie. The guy's out of his tree.
Attorney Draper Scott. His wife's mother. It's me. It's me. His wife's. His wife. Oh, dear God. It's April.
attorney Draper Scott accused of murdering wife's mother. Yeah, it sure looks like the same guy.
That's what I thought when I saw it. It's him, Frankie. She was telling the truth.
See? You have to let us go. You have to.
Hey, wait a minute. The woman in the picture, that's not her.
No, it's not me.
Let me see it.
Untie him, but watch him. Okay, babyface. Here, take a look at it. Do you recognize yourself? Well?
He's in a trance, Frankie. The guy's out of his tree.
Attorney Draper Scott. His wife's mother. It's true. It's me. It's me. His wife. Oh my God. It's April. Dear God, that's my wife.
You grabbed the wrong dude, Frankie. It isn't Kirk.
We had a baby. Oh, baby. Our baby. Her name. Julia. Her name is Julia.
You swore to me it was Kirk Michaels. You swore to me.
It's February. Emily, it's been 6 months. 6 months.
I didn't know. I just didn't know.
Remember. Try. I remember. To try. I was convicted. I was convicted. Sentenced. Prison. Train. God. The train. It wrecked. Out. Noise. Then I saw fire. Was it handcuffed? The policeman. He let me get away.
Yes, Kirk. Yes, you got away. And you came to me, remember? I took care of you. God, you have to remember that.
April. My God, what does she know about this? What is she thinking?
Well, she must think you're dead. After all, you were buried.
I've got to go to her. I've got to
No,
talk to
you're
her.
right now.
Nobody's stopping me.
What a waste of good booze. Go on, check him, see if he's dead.
Why'd you have to do it? Why'd you have to hit him?
Because the party's not over yet, honey, and we didn't want him to leave just yet.
But you know who he is now. You know he isn't Kirk Michaels. He's done nothing to you. Nothing at all.
I'll tell you what he's done. He made us believe he was our old buddy, Kirk.
Look, you have our money. You can keep it.
Oh, don't worry about that, sweetheart. We intend to.
Well, you can let us go then. We won't say a word. I promise
Oh,
to
sure you won't.
you. No. Well, then you can let him go. Keep me. You can keep me until you leave the country.
Who said anything about leaving the country? I like it here. I'm a good 100% American.
Oh, this is trouble, Frankie. I mean, look at this paper. Look at who this guy was. I mean, Draper Scott, one of Monticello's leading criminal attorneys, is a law partner of Michael Carr. former head of the City Crime Commission and retired chairman of the State Crime Commission.
Okay, so you can read now. Shut up!
Why, just listen to who his friends are, for Pete's sake. Police chiefs, cops, and DA.
Shut up and let me think!
Look, if we let this guy go now, everybody in that town that wears a badge is going to be hunting us down. They're going to have us for kidnapping as well as that payroll job.
We won't say a word, I swear to you.
Look, we are looking at a long time in the pen, Frankie.
If we let them go.
Thank God you didn't kill him.
April?
I'm sorry.
For what?
Making you unhappy about me, that's the last thing I wanted to do.
For the life of me, Logan, I just cannot figure out what's happened between us.
Nothing's happened between us, not really.
How can you say that? Something has gone terribly wrong. I know it. Is it me? Is it something I did? Look at me. Is it something I said? What? I know you, Logan. And you're very honest. And you're usually very consistent. But for some reason, unknown to me, you have been running very hot and cold.
You're right there. I've been having my emotional ups and downs lately, haven't
Yeah, well, I'm a big girl, you know that. And if there's something that happened that made you change your feelings for me, I can handle it.
My feelings haven't changed.
Then why are you avoiding me like the plague?
Look, I explained that. I just had to back off for a little while.
I don't buy it, Logan. There's no reason for you to be afraid of your feelings for me.
Just give me a little time, a little more time. I'll work it out.
Let's work it out together.
You're gonna have to trust me on this. It just has to be this way right
You
now.
tell me that you love me, and yet you are shutting me out of your life totally, little by little. Is that what you want?
No, God, no.
I know how much you love Jamie, and yet you go and make some stupid promise to Raven to keep me from testifying. Tell me why.
Well, I had my reasons. And I will tell you as soon as I can, but I can't tell you now.
Trial starts next week.
I am well aware of that.
You're also well aware of the glowing report that child welfare expert gave Raven.
Yeah, well, I still have a good chance with the abandonment charge.
Come off it, Logan. Unless I go into that courtroom and tell the judge about Raven's letter, you are not going to get Jamie back.
Well, I'm just gonna have to do the best I can.
Listen to me. I know how much you love that little boy, and I am not going to let you lose him.
There is nothing that you can do.
Oh, no? We'll see about that.
What do you mean? What do you have in mind?
You may be a lawyer, Logan Swift, but in this particular instant, you are just a client. It's Cliff Nelson who is the attorney on this case.
Now,
right?
wait just a minute, April. If you're doing what I think you...
You just wait. Let me hear what Cliff has to say.
Nelson residence.
Cliff, is that you?
Usually the butler answers the phone, but he's down restocking the wine cellar. Who's this?
This is April Scott. Listen, Cliff.
April. Oh, I'm sorry. What can I do for you?
It's actually what I can do for you, what I'm going to do for you.
What do you mean?
Well, as Logan's legal counsel, it is your responsibility to do anything and everything you can to see that he wins this custody case. Am I right?
Everything short of bribing the judge, yes.
Well, I know how much you need my testimony, and I insist on being called.
I would love to call you, but I don't think I can.
Going to testify, Cliff.
Maybe we better talk this over with Logan.
Clifford Nelson, if you don't call me on that stand, you are as cowardly as your client.
Look, I want to call you, but I don't think the boss would agree.
Obviously, the boss doesn't know what is best for him.
Look, he has been making some strange moves. I'll give you that.
If you lose this case, Cliff, you will be sentencing Jamie to life with Raven. I want you to think about how that will make you feel.
April, I think about that every night. But apparently Raven has some sort of deal with Logan.
You just tell Raven Swift that whatever deal she made with Logan is off.
April, you just made my night. In fact, you just made my case.
Well, when you know the particulars, you just give me a call, okay? I'll see you in court, Cliff. Bye. And I will see you in court, Mr. Swift.
Think, Mother? How do I look?
Lovely, as usual.
This is going to be a perfect evening, I can tell. Oh.
Your young man certainly is punctual.
You are about to meet the man I'm going to marry, and believe me, you will adore him.
Well, I hope he's as enthusiastic about the impending nuptials as you.
Oh, Mother, just one favor you can do for me.
What is it?
Don't bring up the subject of marriage.
Why?
Well, you see, he had a very tragic first marriage, and he wants to marry me, but he's a little shy about it. And, of course, I'm still married, so...
Of course, I understand. Not a word.
Hello, come in. Don't you look dashing? And look what I have for you.
Oh, you look fantastic.
Hello.
Raven.
Thank you.
Mrs. Scott, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Mother, this is the chief of police of Monticello and a very, very dear friend of mine, Derek Mallory.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Mallory.
Oh, please call me Derek.
Well, why don't we sit down and get comfortable?
Yes, yes. Oh, I trust you had a pleasant trip, Mrs. Scott?
Oh, Nadine, please.
Nadine?
I am one of the original white knuckle flyers. Fortunately, we didn't encounter any great turbulence.
Well, maybe you felt insecure on the plane, but believe me, you can feel very secure in Monticello thanks to Derek and the way he handles his police department.
I must say I'm surprised to see someone so young in such a responsible position.
He's the best-looking chief of police in history, and not only that, he is kind, he's very, very thoughtful, and he is so good with Jamie. He just loves him, don't you?
Oh, Jamie, yes, he's a terrific little kid.
I don't know who that could be. Could you get the two of us a drink? You know what I have.
Sure.
Oh, Raven, I came to deliver a message.
You have no right to just barge in here. I have company, so could you leave?
It's okay, I'll make it short and sweet. It's a message from April Scott.
Derek, you know Cliff.
Sure. How are you, Cliff?
Hello, Derek. I trust you're here on police business.
Mother, this is Cliff Nelson. He is Logan's attorney for the custody trial.
Oh, Mr. Nelson.
I didn't know Raven had a mother.
Cliff and I have a little business to discuss, and it should only take a few minutes, so maybe the two of you could go in there and look at Jamie in the nursery. I'll be there in a little bit.
Come along, Derek. We'll
Sure.
see how my gorgeous grandson is doing.
That'd be nice.
Okay. All right, Nelson, this better be good.
Oh, it is good. For me. April Scott told me to tell you that she will see you in court. And that's a quote. End of business. Have a good dinner.
Wait, what do you mean, see me in court?
It means she doesn't care what kind of deal you made with Logan.
Does she know why I made the deal with Logan?
It doesn't matter. All April knows is that you didn't make any deal with her. She has every intention of testifying. And I have every intention of calling her.
I see.
Oh, mind if I take a canopy? You look as if you lost your appetite.
Good night, Cliff.
Good night, Raven.
Kelly McGrath and his Poco puppets are a welcome addition to Monticello's night scene. Mr. McGrath is a talented puppeteer with an assortment of humorous and attractive little friends who he puts through their paces in a well-written, well-acted, and fast-paced review. Even though his act is performing nightly at the youth-oriented Unicorn Disco, young and old are encouraged not to miss one of the most entertaining and promising new talents to play Monticello in a very long time. Well, how about that?
Is that all?
Isn't that enough?
I was waiting for the reviewer to say something nice about you.
Oh, that is a rave review. And the entertainment editor is really not that easy to please. You must have done fantastically well, Kelly. Congratulations. Look.
Well, I have you to thank, Nancy.
Oh, no. All I did was suggest that he stop by and catch one of your performances. The decision to publish a review, a good one at that, was strictly his.
You earned this, Kelly. The review is good because you're good. Don't forget that.
Well, I really appreciate it.
You know, you ought to have a copy made of that and send it to your parents. They'd be so proud to see that.
Hey, you know, you're right. I'll go down to that duplicating store in the morning and run off some copies. But right now, I have a new routine to practice.
Kelly, would you mind putting that off for a minute? Nancy and I would like to discuss something with you.
Well, sure, Mike. What is it?
Well, we feel that it's best to be completely open about something that we've learned.
Okay.
Kelly, the letter that we got from your parents, they told us what happened in Rome.
What did they have to go and do that for? They told me that I didn't want anybody to know about that.
Kelly, aside from your parents, we're your closest relatives.
Yeah, but the decision to tell you should have been mine, not theirs.
Well, they wanted us to understand why you can't go back there.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You see, you and Mike have been so good to me. I guess it's only fair that you should know the worst about me.
Well, obviously, it was an unfortunate incident, and we're both very sorry it happened.
Now listen, you all have your reputations to protect, so if you think it's best, I'll leave, okay? There
Wait
won't
a
be
minute,
any hard
what
feelings.
are you talking about? My goodness. For one thing, your parents told us that they are convinced that you're innocent of the charges that girl made against you.
Yeah, I didn't so much as lay a hand on Karen. I swear, it was that lousy boyfriend of hers.
Kelly, even though you've only stayed with us a brief time, we feel we've gotten to know you well enough to share your parents' faith in you.
So if you say you didn't do it, we accept it.
So now you have 4 people in your corner.
Thank you, Mike. Nancy. You know how good it is for me to know that you believe in me.
All right, now, Kelly, if ever you feel that you want to talk about what happened or about anything else, we're available and we'll help if we can.
You two are really terrific, you know that?
We think we have a pretty terrific nephew, too.
And I think there may be a 5th person in my corner, too.
Oh? Who's the 5th?
Well, remember that night that we had dinner over at the Kavanaughs? I told Jody.
Yes, we thought you might have.
And I think that she believed me. God, I sure hope she did.
Tell you what I ought to do. I ought to take this case away from Cliff Nelson and give it to a lawyer who'll do what I say.
You will do no such thing.
I haven't liked the way this case has been handled for a long time, and as for you, you have no idea what's in store for you, not a clue.
You listen to me. I appreciate, but am sick and tired of your trying to protect me. It is not my welfare at stake, but Jamie's. Second of all, as far as Raven is concerned, she deserves everything she is going to get, and I am looking forward to confronting her in court.
Oh, boy. It's really going to hit the fan now. I can feel it.
I can take anything Raven can dish out.
I hope so, April. I hope to God you can.
Logan, we are going to walk into that court, and we are going to make sure that Jamie is brought back where he belongs.
Even with your testimony, we're not exactly out of the woods. Jamie's in pretty good shape
I
these
want to
days.
hear about how wonderfully Jamie's being taken
Well, the
care
court
of.
is going to want to hear about it. The report that welfare woman is filing, it's going to have a lot of influence.
Logan, Raven put on her good mother act while that lady was snooping around. That's all.
Well, that nurse she's hired, she's wonderful. Impeccable credentials.
So Raven bought herself a hired hand. Does that make her a wonderful mother?
It's going to influence the court.
Is the judge going to award custody due to the fact that Jamie's nursery looks like it was taken out of a decorator's magazine?
It's not going to hurt.
Oh, God. Logan. Raven has put on a flashy front. Down deep, she is still the same vain, rotten mother she ever was, and all we have to do is convince the court of that.
April, you just don't seem to realize that your testimony is about past history, events that took place months ago, while Raven's glowing reports have to do with what's going on right now. Now, we've got a lot to lose, and we stand to gain very little by putting you up there.
If you are trying to make me reconsider, forget about it. I've made up my mind.
I don't want you in the witness chair. They'll tear you to pieces.
Don't you dare get angry with me, Logan Swift. You know we're doing the right thing. You know it as well as I do. Oh, excuse me.
Sure, go ahead.
Hello.
I got your message, darling.
Well, then we have nothing more to discuss, Raven.
You are making the mistake of your life.
I'm afraid I don't see it that way.
April, if you know what's good for you, you will go to Logan and tell him that you changed your mind.
Oh? Why don't you give me one good reason why I shouldn't take that witness stand, Raven?
All right. I'll give you a terrific reason. Because you will be testifying for a man who has been hiding the truth about your husband. Logan has been very busy behind your pretty little back.
Raven, I don't know what you're talking about.
Of course you don't, because he's been lying to you, or shall I say, been selectively omitting little bits and pieces of some very interesting current events.
Has he told you about the autopsy?
April, please, will you let me talk to her now, please?
What autopsy?
The autopsy they performed on Draper's body.
I was Draper's wife. I would have had to agree to any exhumation.
Good lawyers can get around legal technicalities, and that's just what your friend, the district attorney, did on the sly.
Why would he do it?
I don't know. All I know is that somewhere along the line, someone got the notion that the body buried in Draper Scott's grave was not Draper Scott. So, they dug him up, and they performed some tests, and I hope you can get your money back on the flowers for the funeral because you buried the wrong man.
What?
I don't know. Some insurance salesman must be buried in his grave, but it isn't Draper.
You're lying.
Oh, you don't believe me? Okay, just go ask Logan, but I'll see you in court.
All right. What Raven said about the autopsy, is it true?
It's true.